Hey everyone, Jana here. Today I am so excited to share with you my first recipe with a new secret ingredient I've discovered. These are cashew flour chocolate chip cookies. They are plant-based, gluten-free, refined sugar-free, and oil-free, and you will never know the difference. They taste just like a traditional chocolate chip cookie. And I'm going to show you how to make these right now. I'm sure you will agree there is no shortage of chocolate chip cookie recipes out there. Over the years, what always made a recipe stand out to me is when it had a secret ingredient. Well, I've been looking in search of the secret ingredient for my chocolate chip cookie recipe, and I finally found it. Cashew flour. I've made a lot of baked goods with almond flour and various other gluten-free flours, but I'd never tried cashew flour. I really had been wanting to give it a try, and I noted that in cashews, you really have that buttery sweetness, so I thought, what better recipe to try than with a chocolate chip cookie? Not only does cashew flour make an out-of-this-world chocolate chip cookie, but it's full of so many nutrients. Let's take a time travel back to my vegan Parmesan cheese and refresh our memory on all the great things that cashews have to offer. The cashews are loaded with plant-based protein. 1/4 cup, which is just more than a little palmful, has 5 grams of protein. It's loaded with all sorts of other nutrients too: iron, vitamin B6, magnesium, copper, phosphorus, not to mention vitamin K, which helps work with the other nutrients to give you great bone health. Cashews are also great for stabilizing blood sugar, and they're very good for your skin. Now that we know all the great nutrients that cashews have to offer, let's take a look at our ingredients for the cookies. 2 tablespoons golden flaxseed meal plus 6 tablespoons water. That's your flax eggs. 2 cups cashew flour. 1/3 cup coconut sugar. 1 teaspoon baking powder. 1/4 rounded teaspoon finely ground sea salt. 3/4 cup chocolate chips. 1/4 cup unsweetened applesauce. 1/4 cup melted almond butter. 2 teaspoons vanilla extract. Before we start combining our ingredients, let's get our oven preheating to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to take a small mixing bowl and combine our golden flaxseed meal and 6 tablespoons of water. We're going to whisk those together and set them aside. In a medium or large mixing bowl, we're going to mix together our dry ingredients. 2 cups cashew flour, 1/3 cup coconut sugar, 1 teaspoon baking powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of finely ground sea salt, slightly rounded. And we want to mix together these dry ingredients prior to adding the chocolate chips, because you want to be sure that your baking powder and your salt is nice and evenly distributed. Now we stir in our chocolate chips. Set aside your dry ingredients and grab your flax egg. Go ahead and give that another little stir. It'll be gelatinous now. By the way, there's a video on my YouTube channel also for making flax meal eggs. Now we're going to add our applesauce and our vanilla extract to our flax egg. A point of note, make sure your applesauce isn't chilled. You want your almond butter to stay melted, and if you mix it with cold applesauce, it's going to make it get kind of hard and make it a little bit difficult to get it stirred together. So I've got my melted almond butter, and now I'm going to add it to my flax and applesauce mixture and whisk it together. Now we're going to take our wet ingredients and add them to our dry ingredients. It helps to use a little bit of a slicing motion when you're mixing and combining the ingredients. Gets them worked in there a little bit easier. This is what our dough looks like once we're finished combining the wet and dry ingredients. Now it's time to put them on the cookie sheet. Line 2 baking sheets with parchment paper and grab 2 tablespoons. We're going to make our cookies in 1 to 2 tablespoon size mounds. Place them on the parchment paper. Now, you can either leave them in the sort of rustic looking cookie mounds, or you can flatten them out to about 1/2 inch thick. They should be about 2 inches in diameter. I usually try and do about 9 cookies per baking sheet. So they're ready to bake now, and I get about 18 cookies per batch with the size that I make them. Okay, let's put them in the oven. Put them in your 350-degree oven and let them bake for about 12 minutes until they just start to get brown around the edges. Okay, they're ready. Oh my goodness, they look gorgeous. Take them out and set them down to cool. Once you remove them from the oven, leave them on the pan for about 5 minutes, then transfer them to the cooling rack. Look at that. Isn't that delicious looking? I can hardly wait to dive in. Look at that deliciousness. So soft and tender and chocolatey and buttery. That cashew flour is really working its magic. Cashew flour is now available at many grocery stores, but if yours doesn't carry it, I have found it on Amazon as well. Several different brands. Just be careful to shop around because the price can vary quite a bit, even as much as 40%. I am so happy with how this recipe turned out, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. These cookies are phenomenal. My cashew flour was the perfect secret ingredient. And just a little tip, these are also good, of course, hot out of the oven, but frozen. So if you make a double batch and you want to keep some for later, throw them in the freezer and then take one out for a little treat at night. So good. If you want the recipe for these cookies, head on over to Nutritionicity.com. And if you enjoyed watching this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.